Hello, and this is Lee. I'm reading The Struggle, Vampire Diaries. This is part 7. Oh, wouldn't I? Elena told him with her own eyes boldly. She took his hand and held it a moment, teasing him. Then she brought the finger to her lips. After a few moments, she released it and looked up at him. I do like dancing, she said, and found that, like him, she could speak with her mind. It was a thrilling sensation. She moved to the center of the room and waited. He followed her, grateful as a stalking beast. His fingers were warm and hard when they clasped hers. As they clasped hers, there was music, although it faded in and out and sounded far away. Damon placed his other hand on her waist. She could feel the warmth of his fingers there, the pressure. She picked up her skirts, and they began dancing. It was lovely, like flying, and her body knew every move to make. They danced round and round that empty room in perfect timing together. He was laughing down at her, his dark eyes glittering with enjoyment. She felt so beautiful and so poised and alert and ready for anything. She couldn't remember when she'd had so much fun. Gradually, though, his smile faded and their dancing slowed. At last, she stood unmoving in the circle of his arms. His dark eyes were not amused any longer, but fierce and heated. She looked up at him soberly, unafraid, and then for the first time she felt as if she were dreaming. She felt dizzy, slightly dizzy, and very languid and weak. The room around her was blurring. She could see only his eyes, and they were making her feel more and more sleepy. She allowed her own eyes to half close, her head to fall back. She sighed. She could feel his gaze now on her lips and her throat. She smiled to herself and let her eyes close completely. He was supporting her weight now, keeping her from falling down. She felt his lips on the skin of her neck, burning hot as if he had a fever. Then she felt the sting, like the jab of 2 needles. It was quickly, though, and she relaxed to the pleasure of having her blood drawn out. She remembered this feeling, the feeling of floating on a bed of golden light. A delicious languor stole through all her limbs. She felt drowsy, as if it were too much trouble to move. She didn't want to move away. She felt too good. Her fingers were resting on his hair, clasping his head to her. Idly she threaded them through the soft, dark strands. His hair was like silk, warm and alive under her fingers. Then she opened her eyes, a slit. She saw that it reflected rainbows in the candlelight, red and blue and purple, just like the feathers. So I'll stop there and continue.